Hi, this is Godfrey. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What if I told you that the secret to success isn't about talent, intelligence, or hard work? So join me today as I talk about the most interesting and underrated skill that people look down on. But this skill actually determines your success in life, in business, in career, and in that your relationship, even romantic ones. Yeah, so this story about Andy and Dan would explain in more detail. So Andy and Dan, these two IT professionals, gurus like we call them, were actually technically gifted. They were so good, but at the same time they were ambitious. They were just not satisfied with where they are because they've been working in this organization for over 10 years. So one day Andy actually got a hunch about a company that was assembling some team of IT professionals in the Middle East, and he thought to Dan, Dan, don't you think we should try this out? So they both were so excited that they applied for the position to be part of the team. And good thing, because they were quite good, they applied and they got in. Now, on getting to the Middle East, when they arrived, they realized that this team were made of way top experts, professionals that have been there for decades with so much experience than they did. Now they started working, and what they didn't know is that they were being assessed in the first 3 months, not for just technical skills, but for also leadership skills. Now there were no interviews, no type of assessment, just silently being observed. Now Dan and the others carried out their jobs at their task diligently. Andy, on the other hand, did something different. He built relationships. He made friends at work. He went out of his way to listen, to help others. He wasn't just doing his job. He was building a network of trust. And whether it's by helping people to achieve their task or by sharing a cup of coffee, he kind of became the heart of the team by being there for people, being approachable. Now, when the 3 months ended, the company made their decision and they chose a leader. And I'm sure you know who it was, Andy. Now, he was chosen not because of just his technical skills. Obviously, he wasn't the most experienced person, but he was chosen because of one of the most important things in leadership: ability to connect with people. This story proves something important. Technical skills can get you the job, but people skills get you promoted. Now, most of us, or most people, ace their interview by adding interpersonal skills in their CVs. But that's not the big test. The big test is maintaining and managing relationships for long term. Now, that is what separates a good employee from a great leader. Warren Buffett once said, if you can't develop the skill of communication, this increases your self-worth and value in any field. Now, this brings us to the first pillar of people skills: communication. Communication, for me, is the bedrock of people skills. There is no great leader that can successfully say that he was successful without good communication. And mastering communication means that there are 4 principles we take for granted that would help us to build good communication. The first one is active listening. Now, most of us listen to respond, and that is not good communication, because good communication means when you're listening, the person that is listening to you expects to be heard. And when you make the person feel heard, then that means you are actually communicating. And one of the things about active listening is giving that eye contact, maintaining it at all time when there is communication going on. It gives that person the feeling that you are listening. Now, the second part is nodding or saying, yes, okay. Things like this gives whoever you're communicating with the feeling that you are actually paying attention. And then finally, I would add paraphrasing. Now, this paraphrasing basically is you saying, this is what I got, because most times someone can say something different, and what we deduce from what they're saying is totally different. So paraphrasing sometimes is saying, oh, I'm summarizing that what you said means this, and this is what I understand it to be. So these are the three key parts of active listening, which are key to every good communication. Now, another part of communication that is quite important is expressing yourself clearly without causing conflict. Now, this looks like a long one, but it's very important in communication that at every point in time that there is clarity in your message. Now, I'll give you an example. Now, someone misses your call or doesn't respond to your text message, and then when you see this person, it's normal for you to say, oh, you've been avoiding my messages. Why? That somehow puts you on the offensive part of the communication, and at that point whoever is communicating with you will be in the defensive part, instead of using an offensive way of communicating to that response. Instead of saying that why don't you respond to my messages, you can use other means to communicate your point clearly. You can say, I feel hurt when my messages go unanswered. I value our conversations. All right? This is a better way of passing the same information in a way that is less offensive and clear about what you expect from the other person. So the third one relates slightly to the second one, and this is being clear and concise. I'll explain in detail. So when you send a message, or when you want to send a message, clarity is everything. They want to understand what is the context of what you're trying to say. What are you trying to say to me? And it is important for people receiving your message that they get the point of what you're trying to say. This is both in verbal messages, in text messages, emails. Just go straight to the point. Someone can be like, are you free? Maybe we can just say, can we have a cup of coffee by 3 p.m.? So if the person is not going to be available, they will go straight to the point to tell you, no, this is not a good time. And then you can walk around another time. So being concise and clear about whatever your expectations are makes communication quite smooth. Now, the fourth one is my favorite one. Now, 93% of communication is nonverbal. Yeah, that's a fact. And I'll tell you why it is very important, why it is my favorite one. Now, when you communicate with people, there are so many things you tell people without saying a word. And sometimes, or most of the time, we don't pay attention to these things. And I will start with one. The first one is body language. Now, body language is almost everything. Your facial expressions can't lie. You can't be saying, oh, I'm happy, and then your face is telling something totally different. So this is very important for your body language, gestures, gesticulations. I'll cite an example. There was a research that said that hands, when communicating with people, says a lot more than you think it does. For example, you have your hands in your pocket and then you're communicating with someone. They don't feel safe right from time, or it's telling them that you don't take them serious or you don't respect them as much for you to bring out your hand. And then at the same time, if your hands are saying 2 and then your mouth is saying 3, obviously it tells people that you're lying. So there is more when it comes to communication that our body does more than our mouth says. Now, the second one is our vocal tone. So our vocal cues basically says a lot about our tone, the pace, and our cadence. When I say cadence, obviously it's about the volume of our voices. It can go as high and low, and then the pace is there. It says a lot about you. If you're nervous when you're communicating, it's very obvious in your voice. And then the third one would be your verbal cues. Now, for this one, it's more like how good is your vocabulary. So sometimes it says more than you think. So the use of words in this case is what people are judging. they don't know they're judging you at this point in time. But when you use your words, if you're if you're proficient in using words, people can tell and they can already put you in a box. Okay. Now the fourth one would be your appearance and style. Now, this one is funny because most times we don't know, we actually judge people by the perfumes they put on, by their necklaces, their watches, the rings, basically what the color of apparel they've got on. This is normal. And I heard a research that said bright colors actually are more attractive in first meetings for people. But these are unconscious biases that we have in our minds about people that we just met. And all of this actually affects communication. Now, the last social cue is our digital presence. Now, this is so funny that we put on so many content on social media. I'm talking about WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and all apps out there, even LinkedIn. It says a lot about you before you even meet a person. So have you ever met someone that in person, he's totally different from the person you see on their social media? So this is all the things that actually affect communication. So what do you want to tell people without saying anything? You have the power to do that before people meet you. Yeah. So that is all about communication. At the end of the day, success isn't all about talent. It is all about how you connect with others. And this is made possible with effective communication. When you master effective communication, you know how to actively listen to people, how you can be concise and clear in your communication, how you can master the art of social cues, and this will set you up for success in relationship, in life, in career, in business, in whatever sphere of life that you find yourself. This is communication for you. Now, if this video helped you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. And please drop in the comment section what people's skills you would want to improve on. Thanks for watching. Remember, success starts with connection. See you in the next one. God bless you.